Hello. So this is my NFL Combine Analytics Watson project. I decided to use. Actually, let me introduce myself. I'm Cody Decker. This is my second year at USF. I transferred from HTC, and I'm a business major, business management, and I currently work for a company called Southeastern, and I'd love to move up in the company with my 4 year degree. So I love USF, go Bulls, and this has been a fun class. I had trouble on that first project, the coding. That was not my cup of tea, but overall it was fun. I'm glad I took this class, other than it being required. I did find the Access and the Excel very interesting and fun. I find this Watson is fun as well. But okay, anyways, I did my project on the NFL Combine and the stats of each player that was in that combine. Um, I did this. I did the NFL Combine because I was comfortable with the information because I'm extremely familiar with the NFL and stats and the combines and everything. So this would all be easy to me. So I decided why not to use it. But anyways, okay. So this is my dashboard. I decided to compare broad jumps per positions and strength by position as well, such as bench press, and each weight that averages at a certain position, and then same thing for the 40-yard dash, how it compares to weight. So, okay, so for this first one, I did weight by 40-yard dash. So basically, um, it's showing the graph is showing there's average players and their weight on the y-axis and their 40-yard time on the x-axis. And as you can see with this graph, the more a player weighs, the average more that player weighs, the slower their 40 time is going to be. So how this relates to comparing and stuff like that, um, I thought it was pretty interesting, and how coaches could use this to compare over the past years, such as finding trends. Maybe players are getting a lot slower down the road, or maybe players are getting faster than usual. And personally, from my perspective, I believe that players are actually getting faster because of all the technology, the advancements, and all the opportunities for players to learn how to run faster. So, for this next one, I did weight by position. So obviously, there's 11 positions on each side of the football. There's defense and offense, and what this graph is comparing is the position and weights for that player. So, for example, we have the first one, OT, offensive tackle. Their weight is, I'd say, around 320, and you notice how we get down the line, down all the way down to down the x-axis, down to a kicker position, and how they weigh maybe 180 pounds if I had to take a guess. And you notice that the big lineman guys are a lot heavier, and you can also see that like the skilled positions as well are also a lot lighter than the big guys with a lot of mass on the front line. But this is I could see this being extremely meaningful to coaches, because they could compare, like I said previously, they could compare years they can compare to the previous years on how players are weighing and what's the appropriate amount of weight for a player to excel at that position. So, and my next one is bench press by position. So what this is comparing the amount of bench pressing a position at a the sorry the amount of bench presses that a certain position averages out at. So, for example, we see that, well, we know that the linemen are a lot heavier set guys and a lot stronger guys than wide receiver. So as you can see, the center position, the linemen, they average about 27 reps at 225 pounds on the bench press, and that's pretty impressive. And as you can see, let's see, comparing, we can see 12 right here, and that would be for a punter. So yeah, I mean, obviously a punter, all they do is kick, so they're not going to have, But this is just, I just find this interesting because I love the comparing on how bench pressing and how it relates to the position, because obviously if you're a lineman, you're going to be able to bench more, and obviously if you're a receiver or a cornerback or a skilled position, you're not going to focus on strength. You're going to focus on speed, which I'll get into in my next slide. But basically for linemen, heavier mass guys, they look for strength, which is bench pressing. And like I said, for broad jump, I have this broad. I chose broad jump by position because I thought this was interesting how positions, you can see the average amount of broad. You can see how like the average broad jump per position. So for example, like I say, the center is more heavy set guys, so they're obviously not going to broad jump as far as a 180-pound guy or a 200-pound guy. They have a lot of weight that they're carrying. But I mean, I found this extremely interesting, and Watson's definitely helped this out, or helped my perspective on how this all relates to just anything really. I believe that this could help coaches, using this program could definitely help coaches compare stats and players and help them pick the appropriate player for their team during a combine. And finally, the conclusion. I just want to say that Watson was it's an amazing program, and I definitely see myself using it in the future. And I'm glad I took it through this class and got to learn more about it. It was definitely helpful, and I decided, yeah, like I said earlier, I decided to use the NFL because I thought it was an interesting topic to talk about, and I was pretty familiar. I'm very familiar with NFL and statistics and stuff like that. So I find it very helpful. Watson was very helpful, and I learned a lot from it, such as comparing data and coming to conclusions and just coming to a formal agreement. But that would be my project. And thank you.